You know that feeling, right? You're part of some big, exciting new plan at work, a new strategy, a new system. Everyone's totally energized at the kickoff. But then fast forward a few months and it feels like, well, like nothing really changed at all. It's a super common frustration. And today, we're going to dig into why that happens and, more importantly, how to make sure those great ideas actually become lasting realities.
And look, if you've felt that frustration, you're not alone. This isn't just a feeling, it's a hard fact. Check out this number from McKinsey. A full 70% of major change efforts in organizations just fail. That means the huge majority of time, money, and effort poured into these big transformations simply doesn't pay off. It's kind of staggering.
So what is going on here? Why do these ambitious, often really expensive plans lose all their steam and just fall apart after such a strong start? I mean, this is the central question for any leader or anyone really who's trying to build something that actually endures.
Well, this problem actually has a name. It's called the vision execution gap. Just picture a vast canyon. On one side, you have this brilliant idea on a PowerPoint slide. And way over on the other side, you have the daily, real-world actions of everyone in the company. Our entire goal here is to figure out how to build a solid bridge across that gap.
Okay, so before we can build that bridge, we have to understand what created the canyon in the first place. Let's dive into the common reasons why these big change initiatives start strong, but then lose all their momentum and begin to slide backward. This data from a Towers Watson survey shows something pretty surprising. It's not that most companies fail right out of the gate. In fact, over half actually meet their initial goals. But here's the real kicker. A huge chunk of those early successes, that 30% there, they eventually just fizzle out. Only a quarter, just 1 in 4, achieve change that actually sticks. It really proves that getting off to a good start is absolutely not the same thing as finishing the race. And here they are, the usual suspects behind that fizzle. I mean, does any of this sound familiar to you? Leadership gets distracted by the next shiny new thing. All that great communication just disappears after the big launch party. People aren't trained properly, or maybe worse, there's just no system in place to hold anyone accountable to the new way of doing things. It's these kinds of forces that quietly, slowly pull an organization right back to where it started.
But listen, it is not all doom and gloom. Not at all. The good news is that these are totally predictable problems. And if they're predictable, that means they can be managed. And that is where having a clear, really intentional framework comes into play. So let's get right into that framework. The very first pillar of any sustainable change always starts at the top. It begins with leadership's vision and, honestly, more importantly, their unwavering, visible commitment. This quote just says it all, doesn't it? You can't ask your teams to be more collaborative if the leaders are still hoarding information and making decisions in silos. This isn't just about saying the right things in a meeting. It's about walking the talk. Because your employees, they take their cues from what leaders do, not what they say. So what does that leadership commitment actually look like in practice? Well, it boils down to 4 key actions. First, leaders have to constantly connect the day-to-day work back to the big why. Second, they have to personally embody the change themselves. Third, they need to build a powerful team of champions across the company. And finally, and this is critical, they have to put real resources, money, time, people, behind the change and actively clear roadblocks out of the way, not just for a month, but for the long haul. All right, with leadership setting the tone, the second pillar focuses on the people who actually have to execute this change every single day, your employees. The key is you can't just push change onto them. You have to pull them into the journey with you. This is all about turning your workforce from people who might resist change into active partners. That means you keep communicating long after the launch event is over. It means you actually listen to their concerns because, resistance often hides some really valuable feedback. You absolutely have to provide the right training and support. And finally, you empower people to act on the new vision and you recognize them when they do. That's how you build true ownership. Okay, so we've got committed leaders and we have engaged people. The final pillar is the one that makes the change permanent. It's all about weaving this new way of working into the very DNA of the organization through its systems and its culture. Here is a perfect, super clear example of that. Imagine you want your sales team to stop just pushing products and start focusing on consultative selling. But their bonus plan only rewards pure sales volume. I mean, what behavior do you think you're going to get?
You have to make sure your systems, like compensation, are actively rewarding the new behavior you want, not the old one you're trying to leave behind.
See, this is all about hardwiring the change right into your daily operations. You update performance reviews. You change old policies that get in the way. You use data to see if you're slipping backward. And you keep celebrating those small wins to fight off fatigue. Over time, the change stops feeling like this special project, and it just becomes the way we do things around here.
And when you pull all of this together, you realize something pretty profound. The ability to make positive change actually stick, it isn't just about finishing a project. It's about building an organizational muscle. And in a world that is constantly changing, that capability becomes a genuine, powerful competitive advantage.
So if you only take away one thing today, let it be these 3 pillars. First, lead from the top with visible long-term commitment. Second, engage your people so they feel like owners of the change, not victims of it. And third, reinforce that new way of working by embedding it deep into your systems and your culture.
And that really brings us to the final thought. As you look at the next big initiative in your organization, or hey, even a personal change you're trying to make in your own life, ask yourself this one simple question. Is it just a great vision, or is it truly built to last?